Okay, Officer Erin Sun. She's a peacekeeper. She was trained as a pilot, and they're sort of like test tube babies in the sense that they're reared from birth for a particular purpose. So, as far as she knows in her life, what she was trained and born and raised to do was to become a peacekeeper, pilot.
And now, are you a renegade? Like, you actually are escaping from something?
In the premiere episode, Crichton, star of the show, has been his ship, his module, has accidentally collided with Captain Bailar Crace's brother's ship, and it's a complete accident. But the brother dies, and Captain Crace, who's my captain, takes it upon himself to chase after Crichton through the galaxy. And Crace deems Erin irreversibly contaminated, so she's no longer allowed to serve as a peacekeeper. So she is now on the run from the peacekeepers because she chooses to escape with Crichton and Dargo.
So you really didn't want to not be a peacekeeper, you were just kind of thrown out of being a peacekeeper.
Yeah, exactly. She didn't have much choice in the matter, and as far as she's concerned, there isn't any other way of life than being a peacekeeper. So season 1 is really about her learning to survive not being what she was always trained to be. Well, I just come straight from doing a feature film called Pitch Black, and we were shooting that out in the desert in Australia last year, and when the word came through about FarScape, I actually overlapped and I was shooting both things at the same time towards the end of Pitch Black. I had very little time to do any preparation or training. I was literally thrown into it, as I think a lot of us were, because it all happened, everything always comes together at the last minute. It's a very physically demanding role. We have a lot of action sequences, and although we have fantastic stunt doubles, sometimes it is necessary for the actors to do some of the sequences themselves, of course the ones that are safe. So it's physically draining. It's a difficult schedule to shoot because we have so many elements that come into play. We've got the CGI, we've got the puppeteering and the animatronics. When we're doing a large-scale location piece on an episode, it involves a lot of people. It's very busy, but we have a fantastic time, and I owe a lot of that to the cast, because if it wasn't for their good sense of humour and the morale that we have, it would be a very hard day's work. The speed of it. Mind you, nowadays feature films are working at a cracking pace as well, because if they have a limited amount of time in a particular location, you have to push it through. And it depends on the style of the piece. Anything that involves CGI, makeup and prosthetics, and animatronics especially, that will become the key focus of the project. So not much time is spent focused on the performances. The actors have to learn, in a sense, to self-direct nowadays, to be able to look after themselves, technically to be able to work their way around the set so that they can then take on board the added technicalities of working with the CGI. But it's more immediate in television. You don't have to labour a scene for too long. You can get through it. You can improvise maybe a little bit more to make a scene work. It just depends on the project. It's the most imaginative genre to work in, so it's thrilling as an actor to know that I can open up a new script and I'm not going to have any idea what my character's going to be doing, and it's going to be a journey. Every single episode is a journey, an adventure, and we also welcome the character-based episodes as well, which is more what we're used to in normal television. But there is, as David Kemper said earlier, there is great genius in Rockney's ideas and in his work, and it is an absolute pleasure to work with him. But it was one of those projects from the very beginning. I knew it was different. I knew it was special. There were enough elements in place, even in the premiere episode, to suggest that this show had really been given enormous thought, consideration, and that there had been a large amount of imagination injected into even the original concept of the show. It's lucky. It's lucky, that's all I'm going to say. I don't have to... I was saying just before in our when we were hosting the panel that the patience that Virginia Hay and Anthony Simcoe have, and now we had a new episode airing, episode 15 last night with Gigi Edgley, her character Chiana. It's a lot of hours in the chair, and it's getting up very early in the morning, and it's tough work, so we're never allowed to say that we're tired around it because we don't know the half of it. But, so I am lucky. I mean, in a sense, it's great to have the physical recognition so easily because people, can recognise me without the makeup. I'm not wearing any, but by the same token, they have a great sense of anonymity still because they're quite removed from themselves in their daily lives.